no matter what vehicle you're using for this camera here, the process is going to be the same. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. In today's video, we installed the Viofo A329 dash cam on the F150 Tremor. Now, if you're in the market for a dash cam, Viofo is a pioneer in dash cam technology. With their 4K 30 frames per second footage, their amazing night cameras, their amazing night shots, and just their overall quality of the product. Let's get right into the unboxing, you guys, and then we'll start the install. Now, Viofo is nice enough to throw in a few extra components for this kit. We got our hardwired dash cam kit, our 64GB micro SD card, and we got our polarizing lens filter to prevent glare and reflection on the camera. And then we have a wireless Bluetooth remote that we may or may not need, but maybe once the installation is done, this thing will make a little bit more sense. So here's what the front of the box reads, if you guys didn't get a chance to see that on the intro video there. And then there's some writing here on sort of the specs of the cameras. If you guys can pause that if you want to have a look at that. But getting right into it here, we have our front camera. This will go on our windshield and aim forward. So there's the camera right there. And this 3M tape will get mounted right to the window. And then we have a little screen so we can see sort of what the footage is seeing. I think we can cycle through all three of our cameras on this screen right here to see how everything looks once it's installed. We got the rear camera right here and some more 3M tape that will stick to the back window. We have our interior dash cam. This also mounts on the front window. All the other cameras get fed into this main unit here, and then these are the wires that run to them. And then the provided power cable that simply plugs into your 12-volt, I call it cigarette lighter still, I don't know, your 12-volt cigarette lighter, and you have an extra USB-C cable, and then this one right here says for your dash cam. So let's put everything back in this box here, and then we'll bring it into the cab of the truck, and we'll get started on the install process. Now we're going to start with the installation of the front camera. Since all the other cameras run to this guy, we'll get this centered, lined up, put on the windshield. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to power it up. So I'm going to plug this guy right here into my 12-volt cigarette lighter, just like so. Take the provided power cable, we'll plug it in right there, the one that says dash cam. And then we are going to power up our unit here. There is a little slot on the back there that says power. So we're going to plug it right into there. And then I'll turn on the accessory power. So now you got a red light on the unit and it looks like it's powering up. And then it's going to ask, we want it in English. We want kilometers an hour because I am Canadian. And it's asking for a memory card right away. This guy in right now. Card just goes right into the side there. There we go. The camera isn't a fixed lens. You can move it around like so. So if you have like a really flat windshield, you can, aim it right up. If you have a very, very angular windshield, then you can get it, the camera fixed exactly how you want it. So the next step will be mounting this front camera, pull off the 3M tape and then just push it onto the windshield. And I'm going to mount it directly underneath my rear view mirror mount here because I know that's going to be center of the windshield. And we'll mount it right there as close as possible. And that should be a good spot. We don't want to impede our vision, so the higher up I think the better at the end of the day. I'm going to give the window a quick wipe down here, get rid of any dust. And it is very sticky, so once you put it on, I'm going to take this cable away for now. Actually, no, I'm going to leave the cable in there so we know how much room we have to work with. So now we got our front camera mounted up. Let's run this cable, and where I'm going to be powering it is I'm going to be taking off this trim panel right here. So I can just give it a little bit of a yank already because I've taken this one off before for my wireless charger. So I'm going to remove that just like so, and then we are actually going to take out all of this junk here. There's a little tab right here that you just push in the other side, and then it all just kind of unclips. And then coming into here, if you look right up there, there is that green wire going into that connector there. I'm going to take my flathead screwdriver and I'm just going to poke this right here, and you should be able just to pull this out just like that. You can either bring it through on this side and work on this side, or you can bring it through here and work it on it through here, but we're going to keep it on the back here. We got a little bit of room to play with. And I have two personal T-taps I'm going to be tapping off onto those wires there. Okay, so I got both my T-taps on just like that, and then we'll tap our dash cable kit wires into these guys right here. So this is our dash kit right here. In this kit here, you have your black wire that goes to the camera for the power, and then on the other side of this module here. So what this is used for is if you want to keep your dash cam on 24/7 or as often as possible, so it captures break-ins and all that kind of stuff, it'll keep your dash cam always on. And what it basically does, if it senses that your voltage on your battery is below any of these values, so 11.8 volts, 12 volts, 12.2, 12.4, this won't have enough juice now to power up because it's low on voltage, so then your dash cam will basically cut out. You have your red, black, and yellow wire, one being the battery constant, one being your accessory switch, and then one being your ground. All right, so you do need to use all wires. The yellow and the red will go under the same positive, same 12 volts, because the red can't send power to the camera until the relay is switched, and it needs 12 volts, so it needs this guy right here to power it up to let the power through. So you put both of them under the same wire, shouldn't be an issue. And then this is your ground wire for your negative right here. You can see that the camera is on, and then when I turn off the power here, it turns off just like that. So that's exactly what we want. I don't need it to stay on 24/7, just recording when I'm driving, and that should be good enough. So I'll leave the power off for now. I'm gonna get this wire here all tucked in along the visor here, right down here, right down there, and then back into here, and then we'll have our wire kind of coil up into here somewhere. So I'll get that all cleaned up, and then once we're done that, we'll worry on getting the back one done there. So I got the wire run, and what I did was I ran it up into the visor here. If you gently use your trim tool and get this kind of pulled down, you can get the wire started, so it goes in here. And I'm gonna leave this loose for now because I'm gonna use this for my rear wire as well. But we're gonna run it through the top here, or we already did run it through the top for the front. I was able to feed the wire from up here. You can pull this weather stripping off, and I was able to feed it down through here. Wire comes down through there, and then down through here as well, and then back into my 12 volt cigarette lighter, and I have that all plugged back in right there. So it does not matter what vehicle you have, it's all gonna be the same process when turning on your camera. You wanna plug it into your cigarette lighter or a 12 volt source of your choice, whatever works best for you. We went with this guy right here, and then we tapped into the back of it like so, that harness back there. So you can use that for any vehicle, that same method for powering up your camera. Where you route the cables is gonna differ, of course, but you can use the same technique and it will power up your camera. It's all the same at the end of the day. So I misled you guys at the beginning of the video. I thought this was the rear camera, and this would simply mount onto the glass like so, just like that. And then the camera would be kind of shooting out of the back. However, that's not the case. This is our interior camera, which we will be mounting somewhere up on the windshield as well. This is our rear camera, and this is a fully waterproof camera that's meant to mount on the exterior of your vehicle. I think a lot of people who use the rear cameras will mount the camera somewhere on the exterior of their vehicle, on their trunk, tailgate. I mean, you have lots of versatility because of this sort of bracket here and the way it bends where you want to put it. However, I'm not going to put it on the exterior of my vehicle because I don't want a wire running on the exterior of my vehicle. I'm going to keep it on the interior, and I'm going to mount it somewhere probably up in this corner right here. I have this old cell phone holder that I'm actually going to use to mount the camera. So this is going to be a little bit different than how most people would do it. So I'm going to put it kind of like right up here, suction the cup down like that. And then because this has a metal base on it, I'm just going to slap it right underneath just like that. And then there's my camera, and then we'll tuck the wire up there. And then that's going to be my rear camera shooting out the rear of my truck to capture all the footage going on behind. So the long cable that runs to the back has two ends on it. The one on the right here, the kind of threaded one, this goes right to the back and mounts to our rear camera. And then this smaller guy right here, this one mounts right into our front camera. So make sure you guys don't get that confused, and make sure you guys keep this guy right here at the front of the vehicle. Let's get to running the wire back to the front of the camera here. So we got all of our slack right back there, all bundled up nicely. Our cable kind of just peeks out of there and right into the camera. So we'll just put this trim piece back on. And then we can put our weather stripping back on the rear and on the front. Just make sure your wire is nicely tucked in. You can kind of see it right there as it runs along and then back to the front of the camera here. So the rear camera is all done, the hardest part being running the wire from the front to the back. Otherwise, very straightforward. Now let's move on to the interior camera. This is gonna be very quick, very easy, as we only have a foot-long cable going to this guy from the front receiver there. And all we need to do is find a good place to mount it on the windshield somewhere. So I think we're gonna keep it very simple. We're just gonna mount it right in the corner here. I think this is a good spot, and kind of keep it on the driver's side since I don't really have passengers all too often, and keep it on my side so it has a better view of the driver. So I think we're gonna put it right here, run the cable kind of into here and then down to the receiver. But let's start with mounting it and then we'll run the cable. So I already got the glass clean. Now we just gotta get this nice and straight somehow. Make sure you leave yourself enough room to get your cable in, or have your cable ready before you mount it so you don't screw yourself over. And then we're just gonna slip the cable right into this cover here. We have all of our cables nicely mounted, and then we have it all nicely tucked up in here. So I can put the visor cover back on, and then we'll test everything out. So let's hit our start button, and then we'll wait a second for this to turn on. All right, so the camera is on and all of our cameras are live. You can kind of see me waving there. The LED display isn't going to show the highest quality of footage, but we'll see what we pull off the cameras onto an SD card and onto this YouTube video when the time does come. So it looks like the screen does kind of time out, which is good. It kind of goes black. So it actually wouldn't impede you or blind you when you're driving at nighttime, as it will automatically turn off. So I do like the location of it though, like I said, how it is hidden, but just food for thought that it will turn off. So if you guys want it in a more kind of convenient location, if you kind of want it in the corner of your windshield here, you can definitely have it there. But just keep in mind that this unit carries your front dash cam, so you probably want it as center as possible to your windshield. So I'm gonna close everything up and then we're gonna drive around and see how these cameras record. Hopefully the mic is good, hopefully the volume of the mic is all right and the audio isn't too scratchy. I won't know until I edit the video how everything's getting picked up, the quality of the camera as well as the audio. Now there's lots of things you can do with this camera. Aside from all the safety features that dash cams provide, this is also a great tool for content creation. If you're like me and you do filming in your vehicle the odd time, this could be a viable source of footage that I can use in YouTube videos going forward, assuming that the quality isn't too bad and the audio is half decent. It allows for the opportunity to catch wholesome moments you may have in your vehicle with your significant other or your kids. Just a lot of really cool things that come out of having the interior camera as well as the exterior camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait a few hours. I'm going to bring the truck back out during the night and we're going to go drive around in the night to see how the night footage is, see how well it captures the night lights, the streets, all that good stuff in the pitch black of night. So stay tuned for that, you guys. Looking forward to seeing how everything turns out. And this is the night mode of the camera. I'm driving through a neighborhood right now. Nothing too crazy, but I'm hoping that the camera is vibrant enough to see all the surrounding areas, the sidewalks, the houses, the street, as well as the interior. I won't know how any of this looks until I download the footage and see for myself. So I'm guessing that there won't be any issues. Like I said, this is a very high quality camera. It wasn't cheap. It's definitely not on the cheaper end of things. So I think when you spend this kind of money, you should expect great things. And I'm hoping that's what we get here. So when I edit this video, we will see how everything looks and we'll go from there. Now there's a few different things you can do to get the footage off the dash cam. You can take out the micro SD card there, pop that into your computer and download it to your computer. You have a USB-C port on the side here. You can hook that to your phone or to your computer and pull files off through this way. They also have an app that so far I haven't had much luck with. It's pretty buggy, and just from the comments on the App Store, a lot of other people have issues with it as well. But there are other reliable methods to getting the footage off, SD card being the easiest in my opinion. Another nice feature is that you can slide this unit right off its mount. You can see right there that those kind of slotted holes, and then the power kind of bars right there. And it leaves the whole unit kind of on your windshield there very nicely. So the USB cable is still plugged in on the top there, and this is the base. You just have to unplug your two camera leads out of your two side ports right there. So I must say, when I was editing the video, I was very impressed with the footage I pulled off of the camera. The 4K front dash cam is spectacular. It looks amazing. The rear camera, the 2K HDR, looks great as well. And the interior camera during the day looks spectacular. Even at night, you can't complain about that. For it being pitch black in the interior, and for the interior camera to pick up what it did at nighttime, you can't complain about that. I know it looked kind of grainy and a little bit flickery on the video, but that's nothing you can complain about. Try taking any other camera at the pitch of night, holding it up there without any sort of flash, any sort of light, and it wouldn't be able to pick up anything. It'd be just pitch black on the screen for the most part. So if you wanted a little bit more light while you're filming at night on the interior, you can just put a dome light on, and I'm sure that would do just fine. I would definitely say the quality of the camera superseded my expectations. And this isn't a mod that I often thought I needed until I got it installed, and now I kind of feel like I've been missing out. It's a great piece of equipment, it's a great tool, and I can't wait to see sort of what I record, what I get, what I capture going forward here, and maybe share some of those experiences with you. Someone cuts me off in traffic, or maybe I race someone on the highway. You never know, you do a pull with someone. And now because I got that sort of 360 footage around the vehicle, front, back, and interior, I can put together a YouTube short or sort of a video of anything that may happen day to day. So very, very excited for this piece of equipment or this tool going forward. But that is basically it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that process was very easy. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, make sure you guys comment below and I will do my best to answer. Aside from that, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks Viofo for sending me this product. The link will be in the description below. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.